So here, some of the other questions that I think would be important to think about is what should I consider if employees can't come back to work, or they're afraid, or they have childcare issues because the schools have closed now, and they're dealing with childcare that is unexpected.
So for the child care issues, you still have some obligations of protected leave. So you want to have that discussion. For folks that are hesitant to come back, and I heard just yesterday from a client who asked me the question, well, you know, they're getting paid more on unemployment benefits. And what happens if that's a factor? I've heard that a lot. And I think the best way to address reluctant employees from coming back to work, first you have to think about, how do I notify them? If you're on furlough or layoff, you have to send those recall letters. So you have to have some notification documentation. So prepare your return to work letters, listen to the concerns of your employees, and engage in an interactive discussion so that you really understand why. Why is it that they're not ready to come back to work? And I think the best thing to do is to work with them, figure out an ease back to work. If they're afraid, what are they afraid of? What are their concerns? That's a good time to socialize your mitigation measures and your return to work safely, the plan that you've created. Talk about that. Ask when, but recap and keep the documentation flowing in the event that you have a reluctant employee that continues. But I mean, this is a very tenuous time for employees. I think your best bet is to listen to see what they say first. Don't have any preconceived notions, you know why. And then of course, think about your protections that caring for a child that's a school age, your obligations.
So conservative approach, probably the best sort of mindset for that?
So, my approach is be conservative. You've done your risk analysis. You know who needs to come back. You may have to do a contingent workforce if you have, you may have folks that just won't come back. And you need to think about that too.
Right.
So
right.
I think your planning is key.
Yeah, I think that's really sort of an important point is that it all starts with that first question of what's the plan? What's
the plan? And so you can socialize that.
Yeah, Laurie, how about, any final thoughts on any of this, any advice, sort of bigger picture, come back, don't come back, whatever you sort of like think about from a big picture standpoint as the last thoughts.
So I think do that analysis and think, how is this going to impact my employees and my business? And in my opinion, I think being conservative, if it's not disrupting your business and you can be conservative, think that way.
Continue on, right? Continue on.
You're easing back in. Rushing back in and finding that you're ill prepared, I think it's going to have a more damaging effect.
Right. Just because the governor is saying, get back to work, open up the economy, doesn't necessarily mean that it's right for your business.
Exactly. Right. You have to look at your business through a very filtered lens that says, how is this impacting the business and my employees? And what is my risk? What's my risk if I rush everybody back? What's my risk if I ease them back?
Thank you so much, Laurie. This has been really great. Lots to think about. Even more importantly, gets me going that, there's a lot to do. We'll make sure, just as we did in the, in the prior session, to make sure we share your contact at the end of this segment. And everyone keep, an eye out for other updates. As a regular part of this series, we'll have Laurie back again to expand on some of this as we sort of get back to the now normal, I guess, or the post-COVID workforce. So I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much. Everyone stay safe, everyone stay healthy, and keep your eye out for more updates. So thank you very much.